Are you still hoping word of mouth is going to grow your painting business? The truth is, painters who ignore advertising are getting left behind while competitors are snapping the best jobs. And I grew my painting business to $71,000 a month. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do advertising for your painting business so you can grow really fast. So to start, let me show you the first step to grow with advertising. I want you to imagine for a second if you had to guess which is my favorite food and I couldn't tell you, like I couldn't speak and I couldn't tell you the answer. How would you figure it out which one is my favorite food? And let's say you only have 7 days to find out. What would you do in that scenario? Well, you might be, first of all, thinking, Carlos, why are you asking me this question? But if you really thought about it, you wouldn't have an idea because you don't know what my favorite food is. So if I was in your shoes, I would highly suggest that I will start testing what food I like to eat more. Maybe I put different meals and I will say, hey, you can pick yourself. And one meal I pick, maybe you're gonna start realizing, he likes to eat that food more than the other one. Maybe he's more into pizza than into salads. But the reason I'm telling you this is because it's the same thing with homeowners. You don't really know what works in advertising until you do the testing period. And that testing period just basically means finding out what resonates more with the homeowners. But how do you actually do that? Well, let me show you. So step one, you want to pick a topic. So what do I mean by a topic? It could be different type of things. For example, maybe in your ads, you want to talk about cabinets. Maybe you want to talk about exteriors. Maybe you want to talk about interiors. Maybe you want to talk about a specific offer. It doesn't matter. Pick a topic that you're going to talk about that you think homeowners are going to resonate to. Number two, you record your ads, right? So you have to record your ads and you have to launch them. So in order for them to see what you're talking about, you have to pick a platform where you can do ads, somewhere where they can see. Most of the time paying for ads is the actually only way they're gonna see what you're talking about. Because if you do organic content like just posting on your Facebook, it's rare for it to pick up by itself, right? So I highly suggest you pay for attention. That's basically what ads are, just paying for eyeballs. So you're just gonna pay for more attention, and if your topic resonates with them, they're going to take action. And lastly, the last thing you have to make sure in your testing period is just to have what they call a CTA, which is a call to action. So what do I mean by this? Let's say the topic is homeowners, paint your exterior this year. You throw the ads, right? You're paying for those eyeballs. And then the CTA is something like, so click the link below and book your free estimate before you lose out. And then what do you do afterwards? You just test more. If you see some topics resonate more with that, you do more of that one, you throw more ads, and you give them a call to action. And that's pretty much it. Now, let's move on to the second trick, because without this, you won't actually grow at all. Let me actually tell you. So when I started to run ads for my painting business, at first, I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I was starting to get homeowners, but I was missing out on them. So like I would call them, they wouldn't pick up the phone anymore. And I was just so confused on what was happening until I realized that I wasn't doing enough follow-ups. And so what I started to do is take my follow-up game more seriously. And when I started to do that, I started to see results and grew my painting business. So the reason I'm telling you this is because it's the same thing with homeowners. Most painting businesses give up so quickly in following up with their leads because they assume that the homeowner is not interested. But the reality is that there's always going to be interest if they opted in your ad or they reach out to you. It's just that they're busy. I mean, who's not busy nowadays? I mean, there's so many distractions, there's so many things to do. People forget. So it's your job to do the follow-up with them so they realize, oh yeah, I needed to pay my house, let me reach out. And maybe it might not happen in the second follow-up, it might happen in the 10th. You never know. But how do you actually follow up the right way? You might be thinking. Well, it's actually pretty simple. Step one, you have to have some sort of CRM. What's a CRM, you might be asking? It's somewhere where you can manage your leads in a platform. So I highly suggest you shouldn't do pen and paper anymore. You need to keep it more organized because you won't know when was the last time you contacted someone. If you're pen and paper, it's just gonna be so messy. So find a CRM, something that can help you have your leads organized so you can see, okay, I contacted this person this day, it's time to contact them again. Step two is just give them a call once a day, right? For 7 days straight. If they don't answer in 7 days and you call them once a day, then you can stop calling them. Maybe they change priorities, but usually they're just busy and they might pick up the 6th, 7th time or 4th time, but just call once a day because most painting businesses just give up after 2 calls. It's insane, but they're losing out on a lot of money thinking they're not interested anymore. But the reality is they are. They're just busy. And step number 3, be okay with some people getting pissed off with you. So what do I mean by this? It's always going to happen. There's always going to say, oh, don't call me. Why are you calling me every day? Why are you texting me every day? Don't do that. And you might get a little hesitant now, like, oh, should I keep doing this? Am I doing the right thing? And the truth is you are, because you're booking more estimates. The other guys, you're booking them into estimates. It's just one rotten apple or maybe 2 rotten apples, but that's totally fine. If it makes you more money at the end of the day, wouldn't you take that trade just to take a 1 or 2 pissed off people? I would take that bet. And I'm gonna be frankly honest with you. It's uncomfortable. And it's not your fault for feeling that way. It's the homeowner's fault, because they shouldn't have opted in the first time if they were not gonna do anything. So don't be afraid of calling them, because they reach out to you. Now, the last trick is the most important one. So keep watching to see it, okay? And let me actually tell you about this. So I was sitting in my sofa, right? And I was like, hey, I have a bunch of people right here that, they wanted to paint their house, but they never actually did anything. And I just had a ton of leads that you can call dead leads. And so I was like, you know what if I start to reach out to them again? And so that's what I did. I started reaching out to them, sending them messages and giving them calls. And you know what happened? I got 3 painting projects from doing that. And big painting projects. They were like, oh my goodness, you just called at the right timing. I was just looking for a painter. Let me book an estimate. And then I went to give an estimate and they buffer me because I was one of the first ones. So that made me realize that most of the time we have dead leads that we just feel like, they're gone, they're in the past. But you can reactivate those leads and still make money from them. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you probably at this moment have a bunch of list of contacts that you can reactivate with a new offer to get them back into the market. Well, how do you actually do that? Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first way that you can do it is you can have some sort of automation where you put all the contacts into a CRM and you just do like a blast email and a blast text message. So the CRM fills the information automatically. It puts like, hey, John, hey, Maria. It fills their name automatically. And then you just put the offer and you just ask them a question. Would you be interested in possibly getting an estimate because of the offer we're running? And most people would say yes. Some people are going to say no, but that's fine. You're at least going to get some of the dead leads into the market again. That's the first way. That's the automated way. If you know more about automations, you can do that. But give them a great offer, something like $1,000 off your next painting project, or we only taking this amount of painting projects with this offer. The second way, and I highly suggest you this one because this one is going to get you better results, is calling them and sending them a personalized message. So actually going about sending them a message saying, hey, John, if you know them, haven't talked to you, how's your dog, whatever you know about them. Or just like, hey, John, haven't talked to you, but we're running this right now. We're only taking 10 homeowners, and it's going to help you get a beautiful home or exterior. Whatever you know about the contact, just try to make it more personalized. Send that message, give them a call. And then, I was just thinking about you because I saw that you were, you never really painted your home. Are you still looking to possibly do that? Some of them are, oh, yeah, I'm still looking. Some are like, no, not right now, man, but appreciate you calling. That's fine. But at least you're going to get some people. And the more personalized, the more responses you have. But there's actually one more thing that if you don't do, it's really not going to help you grow your painting business. Like, you're going to stay stuck. You might have estimates, but you're not going to close any of them. So watch this video next where I break down my full sales script to close more painting projects at higher prices. So I'm going to put the link somewhere here. Watch that video. My name is Carlos, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.